Vici is one of the more popular REITs around right now. And when you look deeper into the stock, there's not really a whole lot of questions why. It pays a pretty great dividend at over 5%. And honestly, when it was in lower prices around here, it was closer to 6 than it is to 5. Over the last 5 years, and in the history of the stock, but certainly over the last 5 years, it has grown substantially as well and beaten inflation, which is great for basically any dividend portfolio except for the ones looking for the high end extremes of maybe 7-8%. But this could fit into most dividend portfolios. It holds great real estate. I'm assuming most of you know what a REIT is, but in case you don't, basically just a real estate stock. That's a simplified definition, but that's the basics of it. And a lot of the land they own is in Las Vegas, prime real estate, good stuff, right? I don't think that's going away anytime soon. I think in 20 years, people are still going to be going to casinos in Las Vegas, right? You always got to look at a company, what do they do and is it going to be around? People are always going to use land. People are always going to use land in Las Vegas for gambling. So I'm not worried about this company long term at all. Like I said, dividend over 5%. The PE ratio also really isn't that high. Clearly, REITs have much lower PEs than most stocks, right? So this is, maybe slightly above average for a REIT, but this is an above average performing REIT, certainly. Most of their earnings are right in line. Missed by 2%, that's nothing, right? So even it all out, they usually hit right around earnings, or right around expectations of the earnings, right? This is a stock you want to be in. This is one of the best dividend stocks I've seen, right, for an individual company. Like there's some argument Schwab dividend does very well. I like that, but that's an ETF, not an individual company. Yeah, no, it's great. I don't own a whole lot of REITs, but this is one of them I do personally own, and actually I got fairly lucky when buying it. I bought a bid around 29, which now doesn't seem high at all. But actually I happened to buy right around that day because I remember 2 days later it shot up 6%. So I believe this is where I bought it. That looks about right. And it's just been on a great run since. Now, REITs and a lot of dividend companies have done very well, mainly because they, for example, utility companies and REITs have run up a lot, mostly because rates dropping. These companies run a lot of debt. They just do. They have to, right? Their businesses require loans. So I guess that is a risk if you're worried about companies with substantial loans. You don't like that sort of thing. That's understandable. I think it's a little bit too cautious, but that's just me personally. I don't see any issue with it. That's just how the companies run, right? So companies that have lots of debt or that require rates to drop, for example, Lowe's and Home Depot have just been on good runs, right? If you're expecting this to run up another 10, 20%, that may be a bit unrealistic. However, in the long term, this company is a great dividend. It's going to do well, right? This isn't going to be a world beater. It's not going to be like an NVIDIA. It's not going to go up 2,000,000%, right? But it's going to pay you a nice steady dividend. And it's going to be, now, obviously, I can't guarantee that, right? I'm not saying, oh, yeah, I know it, I can see the future. However, history indicates that this is a good performing stock, right? This is one I like. I certainly like it. And if you don't, that's completely fine. But let's look at some analyst ratings. Schwab thinks it'll be in the top 26 percentile for, I believe it's just share price. So they think it's going to go up substantially, and they reiterated that 2 days ago. Whatever you think about that. 4 stars, neutral to above average, buy. ESG score is average. Their dividend has increased. They increased it last quarter. Is that last quarter? Quarter 4, 2024. Oh, that's expectation. They expect it to increase. Excuse me. That makes sense. Forward PEV is slightly lower. Anyways, I guess we can dive into some other risks. I guess just if inflation really does not temper down if there's a recession, all that. This stock's going to fall, but so is every other stock, right? That doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, it actually fell quite a lot. It fell 50%, but personally, I just view it as a buying opportunity if this fell dramatically, right? I don't see it. It did well. It did decent in 2022. It didn't really fall as much as tech. So generally, this will do fine I think it would fall substantially if rates didn't keep going down. I can see that just because the market, right? That's just how the market is, right? It's going to panic if it starts falling. I think from what I understand, I don't know every fine detail about them. We can do a deep dive in a future video. That's not for today. My understanding is a lot of their loans are locked in pretty low and for quite a few years going forward, but I could see the market overreact if rates didn't fall, but I think they will. It's just probably going to happen. How fast we'll see, but rates have been so high for so long that I don't see it staying up there, but that is a risk, I guess, right? But analysts like it. Let's take a quick look. Oops, not options. I don't care what analysts are saying. For October, it's hold, but I'm seeing that a lot. I think people must do it towards the middle or end of the month because almost everyone I look at, there's more hold compared to previous months. But over the last 3 months, people have been saying mostly buy. So I don't know. I like the stock a lot. I think it works great in a dividend portfolio. It's not a world beater, but in the REIT environment, none really are, right? You aren't just going to, wow. It's not how the businesses are oriented, and that's not what they're trying to accomplish. Diversification to the real estate market, dividends, and then I guess some hedging from out of tech, right? I'm heavily into tech and specifically the semiconductor industry. So I try to find some of the best of industries I'm not in so I can get some diversification there. And I went up pretty substantially on my Vici, and I sold a little bit, and I put it in tech after tech fell. So, but anyways, that's for a different video. We don't need to dive super deep into that. So that's what I think about Vici. If you made it this far, I appreciate you guys watching. If you leave a like, subscribe, I'd appreciate that a lot. Let me know your opinion down in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.